Skylar's helmet was still warm from the road when she reached the glass and steel tower downtown. The package in her delivery bag was stamped "Immediate" in bright red, and the app timer on her phone showed she was early. Barely, but early. At the front gate, a security guard stepped into her path and lowered the barrier with a sharp clank. "Delivery riders use the service entrance," he said without looking up. "Turn around. Don't argue." Skylar tightened her grip on the parcel. "Sir, I arrived before the deadline. The recipient must sign personally. Please open the gate so I can finish my route." The guard's eyes flicked over her uniform with open disgust. "People like you don't enter through the main gate." She felt the familiar burn of humiliation, something she'd swallowed 100 times to keep food on the table. But today, the words came out steady. "My uniform shows my job. It doesn't reduce my dignity," she said. "And don't touch the package. I'm responsible for it until the recipient signs." The guard reached for the parcel anyway. Skylar shifted it behind her, refusing to hand it over. His voice rose. "Apologize for your behavior, or you'll stand outside until evening. Understand?" Skylar held his gaze. "I won't apologize for working." The tension drew attention. Office workers slowed as they passed, watching like it was entertainment. Then, a calm voice cut through the noise. "What's going on here?" A man in a tailored suit had walked up, mid-30s, composed, the kind of person even the guard wouldn't interrupt. The guard straightened instantly. "Sir," the guard said quickly, "she arrived late and became rude." Skylar lifted her phone. "The timer shows I arrived before the deadline. He lowered the barrier after seeing my uniform." The man glanced at her screen. His expression sharpened, not at her, but at the guard. "I can see the arrival time," he said. "Keep the record open." Then he turned to Skylar. "Give me the package. I'm the recipient. I'll sign myself." Skylar hesitated a second, then handed it over, watching him sign with careful relief. The man handed her the receipt. He faced the guard. "Next time, verify the truth before humiliating someone publicly at my gate. Work deserves respect. Yours and hers." The guard stammered, "I'm sorry, Mr. Cole." "I heard your apology," the man replied coldly, "but it belongs to her." He turned back to Skylar, softer now. "What's your name? I need it for the record." "Skylar," she said, already stepping back. "Thank you. I still have 10 deliveries left." He held out his hand, as if to stop her. "Let me compensate you for the delay." Skylar shook her head. "Keep your money. Just make sure the next rider is treated properly." She swung onto her motorcycle and rode off before her voice could shake. But Daniel Cole didn't forget her. That evening, Daniel sat in a sleek conference room across from his mother and Zara. Zara, polished and confident, the woman his family had chosen for him long ago. Zara tapped her manicured nails against a folder. "We need to finalize the wedding date, Daniel. Our families expect it." Daniel exhaled slowly. "Because it's an arrangement," he said. "Not love." His mother's tone hardened. "You'll agree once the announcement is made." Daniel's hand slid into his pocket and touched the delivery receipt he'd kept. Small, simple paper, but it felt heavier than any contract he'd ever signed. "Don't announce anything in my name," he said. "A public decision won't make it mine." Zora's eyes narrowed. "And who is Skylar? Why are you holding that receipt like it matters?" Daniel looked up. "She's a delivery rider your staff humiliated today. And it matters because it showed me something I don't see in rooms like this." His mother leaned forward. "Your father planned this union. You don't throw away years of planning because a stranger impressed you for 1 minute." "Then the plan changes," Daniel said quietly. "I'm not promising my whole life to someone I don't love." The room fell into stunned silence. Zara's voice turned sharp. "A delivery girl appears for 1 minute, and suddenly you find courage to refuse me?" Daniel didn't answer, because part of him knew it was true. The next day, Daniel found Skylar at one of her delivery stops. She spotted him and immediately frowned. "Don't tell me you ordered something just to stop me," she said. "The parcel was an excuse," Daniel admitted. "I wanted to apologize properly, without guards watching." "You already did," Skylar said. "I need to work." "I changed the policy," Daniel said. "Delivery riders can use the main gate now." That made her pause. That matters more than money. Daniel nodded. Then his eyes fell on her hands. Slight tremor, the way she was standing, like she hadn't eaten. "When did you last eat?" he asked. Skylar's pride flared. "Food can wait. Rent can't." "It can't wait if you collapse," Daniel said. 10 minutes. Eat something." She studied him, rich, sheltered, yet looking at her like she was a person, not a problem. Finally, she said, "Fine, but I choose the place, and I pay for my own food." Agreed. At a modest roadside cafe, Skylar stared at his plate when the same simple meal arrived in front of him. "You eat like this?" she asked, skeptical. Daniel gave a small shrug. Hungry people do. When Skylar reached into her bag, a folded paper slipped out. An enrollment notice with "deferred registration" stamped across it. Daniel picked it up before it blew away. "School?" he asked. Skylar snatched it back, her face tightening. "Some dreams wait when survival comes first. Dreams shouldn't disappear because life gets difficult," Daniel said. "Sometimes they just need one person to protect them." Skylar stood abruptly. "Beautiful words don't finish my deliveries." But later that day, Daniel followed her when she left the cafe. Only because she'd forgotten the school application under the table, and he didn't want it lost. He reached her building just as a landlord was pinning a notice to her door. "Friday is your final day," the landlord said. "After that, the apartment goes to someone else." Skylar swallowed her panic and nodded. "I understand." When the landlord left, Skylar turned on Daniel like a shield. "Don't speak to him for me. This is mine." "I'm not here to take your voice," Daniel said, holding out the application. "You dropped this." Skylar's eyes softened, then hardened again. "Thanks, but don't follow me again." Daniel hesitated. "Give me the details. I can pay the rent and school fees today." Skylar's expression went still. Please don't turn my life into one payment you can make between meetings. I'm offering help, he said carefully. Help without equality becomes control, Skylar replied. I need respect, not rescue. Daniel took a breath. Then tell me what kind of help feels fair. Skylar held his gaze. Information, guidance, a door opened so my work can carry me through. Daniel nodded slowly. I hear you. What Daniel didn't know was that Zara had heard too. In her world, love was a transaction and reputation was everything. And she couldn't stand the idea that Daniel looked at a delivery rider with more peace than he'd ever looked at her. So Zara ordered an investigation, not to learn the truth, but to find something ugly enough to control the story. Her investigator returned with little. She's clean, he admitted. Hard-working. No scandal. Zara's smile turned brittle. Then find something people will believe. They found Skylar's estranged uncle, bitter, drowning in debt, angry at a past he blamed on everyone but himself. Zara offered him money, a script, a microphone. He hesitated, then agreed, voice shaking with shame as he recorded lies about Skylar using pity and targeting wealthy men. That night, the posts went live. Edited photos, twisted captions, and the uncle's voice as proof. By morning, Skylar's face was everywhere. Skylar walked into work and felt the air change immediately. Whispers, stares, phones angled away too slowly. Her manager called her into the office and turned a screen toward her. Your name, uniform, and roots are in this report, he said. We can't ignore it. Skylar's throat tightened. It's false. The photos are edited. Then the recording played. Sometimes we all have to choose between comfort and truth. Skylar's stomach dropped. That's my uncle, she whispered. Still, her manager shook his head. We're suspending you until an investigation is complete. Hand over your badge. Skylar stood frozen. The job was her rent, her food, her school dream hanging by a thread. She walked home like someone carrying broken glass inside her ribs. She called her uncle again and again, but he didn't answer. At home, she began packing, not because she wanted to run, but because she had nowhere else to stand. Daniel nodded once. Tell me where to begin. Then a sleek black car stopped outside. A driver stepped out. Mrs. Cole requests Miss Skylar's presence. Alone. Daniel stiffened. My mother? He muttered. Skylar lifted her chin. If I refuse, I look afraid. I'll go. Daniel caught her hand. Call me if anyone tries to silence you. I won't be silent, Skylar said, and stepped into the car. Daniel's mother, Rachel Cole, waited in a private sitting room like a judge preparing to deliver a sentence. Skylar stood straight, even in borrowed clothes, even with her life unraveling. Rachel didn't waste time. Did you approach my son because your rent and education were collapsing? No, Skylar said. I came to deliver. Your guard humiliated me. Daniel intervened. Rachel's eyes didn't soften. expect marriage to rescue you?" Skylar's voice stayed steady. "No. Comfort bought through deception becomes another prison." "Why refuse his help, then?" Rachel asked. "Because gratitude can look like love," Skylar replied. "And I needed to know the difference." Rachel studied her, then reached for a folder of printed records, dates, screenshots. These posts contain details collected before the scandal. "Your uncle couldn't have done this alone," she said sharply. "This is organized." Skylar's breath caught. Then someone guided him. Rachel stood. "Bring Zara, now." When Zara arrived, she tried to smile like nothing was wrong. Rachel slid a bank statement across the table. "Explain these transfers." Zara's mask cracked. "It was research. Daniel's future affects both families." "Research doesn't require bribes and manufactured lies," Rachel snapped. Zara's eyes flashed to Skylar. "She targeted him," she insisted. "Her poverty and careful refusals." Daniel walked in at that moment, having followed the trail faster than Zara expected. He looked at the transfers, the evidence, the timestamps. Then he looked at Zara. "You created this because you couldn't control my choice." Zara's voice shook. "You're choosing her over me?" Daniel's answer was simple. "I'm choosing truth." That night, at a gala filled with people who had already consumed the scandal like dessert, Daniel walked onto the stage, Skylar beside him. Skylar's legs wanted to move backward. Every face looked like judgment. Daniel leaned close. "Stand beside me, not behind me," he whispered. "Only if you choose." Skylar lifted her chin. "I've survived judgment my whole life," she whispered back. "I'm done asking strangers for permission to stand." Daniel addressed the room. "Gossip dressed like truth nearly destroyed an innocent woman," he said. "This is Skylar. Her uniform never lowered her worth. Our prejudice did." Rachel's team displayed the proof, the payments, the edits, the recording source, the planned smear. Zara stood exposed in the light she tried to weaponize. Her voice broke. "I'm sorry." Skylar nodded once. "I accept your apology, because I won't let bitterness become another prison. But healing will take time." Daniel turned to Skylar, not as a hero presenting a rescue, but as a man asking permission. "I won't decide your future," he said. "When you're ready, will you build a life with me freely, always with your voice intact?" Skylar took a breath. She didn't look at the crowd. She looked at Daniel. "I choose you," she said. "But I also choose my education, my dignity, my work, and the future I build myself." Daniel nodded. "Then we protect all of it together." Later, Skylar's name was cleared. Her job was restored, and instead of a secret payout that would chain her to gratitude, she received an independent merit scholarship, an open door she could walk through on her own strength. On her first day back, she held her helmet in one hand and her school application in the other. Both were real. Both were hers. And as Daniel walked beside her, never ahead, Skylar finally felt what she'd fought for all along. Not rescue. Respect.